Ladies and gentlemen, according to ABC News, 15% of Bernie Sanders supporters are going to vote for President Trump. This is absolutely fantastic. And I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. This is before certain groups and, pundits that Bernie Sanders can't endorse. Bernie Sanders refuses to endorse the pundits that have endorsed him. Isn't that interesting? Kind of says something about Bernie 2020 compared to Bernie 2016, but I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. Now, I am voting for President Trump. There is a great deal of overlap between Bernie Sanders and President Trump. You can go look at the Trans-Pacific Partnership. They were both against that. They both, in their own ways, tried to address the trade imbalance with China. It's just a $400 billion trade imbalance. Now, who knows what it is now with everything going on. But you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where foreign policy-wise, what's the one correlation between Bernie Sanders, President Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, and Jill Stein? Each one has a different foreign policy than Democrats. Do you ever wonder why every single candidate that they accuse of being supported by Russia has a foreign policy that is less of an interventionist foreign policy? Ever wonder why? So you're looking, ladies and gentlemen, at a really interesting, poll. So 80% of Sanders backers say they'll vote for Biden against Trump. That too says a lot about Bernie's movement, which has become a giant bowel movement. As noted, 15% said they'd back Trump. 15% said they'd back President Trump. And 20% of Sanders supporters said they'd vote for President Trump in 2016. It ended up being like 13%, something like that. 12 or 13% voted for President Trump. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that makes people incredulous pertaining to how a Bernie supporter could vote for Trump? How could he possibly vote for Trump? Every one of my articles that went viral in the Hill, the Huffington Post, and the Salon was given a stamp of approval by editors at those publications. Okay? My vantage point was unique. Very unique. And it resonated with a lot of people. Nobody was really saying those things on the left. Then you had social media where it's like, it's this rabbit hole into, it's the most negative, bizarre, surreal, like nightmarish place. That's why I do not have Twitter. I don't have Facebook. And I suggest if you don't derive any enjoyment, you should probably just do what I did and get off Twitter, get off Facebook. But to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. I know that there are a lot of things that you could be spending money on. If you want to support my voice, it's greatly appreciated. I'm greatly appreciative, and it's greatly appreciated. You look at this poll is very interesting. 80% of Sanders backers say they'll vote for Biden against Trump. That's another interesting thing. What's the overlap between Biden and Bernie Sanders? Biden has one would think the antithesis foreign policy. Biden doesn't want Medicare for all, so Trump doesn't want Medicare for all. Let's see. Biden would be just fine with something like the Trans-Pacific Partnership as a way to, curtail China's dominance, economic dominance in that region. What else? Biden is the type of person, well, so is Bernie. See, aside from Medicare for all, Green New Deal, Biden doesn't really care. You have these people who claim to be so moral. They engage, the left engages in these absurd leaps of logic based purely on emotion. I kind of realized this when I was on the left, but I was like part of this cult. I was never completely comfortable with it. There were things that I like. There were things that I thought were a progressive issue or progressive or left-leaning issues, like foreign policy, bringing home Americans. Why is it so difficult for Democrats to say we have to bring home Americans, which is what Trump is doing? He signed a peace deal. M. Helland, Bernie Sanders should go Green Party. Bernie Sanders should join the Green Party. The fact that he doesn't shows that he really doesn't care about going up against the 1%. See, you have if Bernie Sanders is going up against the 1%, and you have two billionaires who just popped in and popped out of the primary, one of whom was Bloomberg and did so just for strategic purposes to pave the way for Clinton. Look at the Green Party platform. Let's see, Medicare for all. They want Medicare for all, right? Single payer, Green Party. Okay, Green Party supports single payer universal health care and preventive care for all. We believe that health care is a right, not a privilege. So how is this different from Bernie Sanders? What we stand for. Supports the Green New Deal. Medicare for all. It pretty much a very similar viewpoint on foreign policy, which is not. It's a very bizarre view of. I'm not even going to get into it. It's actually a nicer tone than what the Democrats. I'm not even going to get into it in the live stream. Supports equality. Working people. So why wouldn't Bernie Sanders join the Green Party? The fact that he doesn't, the only way to ensure that Democrats would ever change, they offered him the ticket, exactly. The only way that Bernie Sanders could ever really stick it to the Democratic Party would be to not just stick it to the Democratic Party, the only way that he could ever frighten the 1% of this country is to join the Green Party. Now, I don't care what he does. I think he's a good person. I don't have anything like serious against. I don't have any truly negative feelings against Bernie Sanders, other than I think what he did was cowardly in trying to regurgitate the absurd myth that Trump worked with Russia. So that was very cowardly. In addition to not stating publicly admitting publicly that he was cheated. It's like they just wronged him, and nobody suffered any consequences in the Democratic Party. But you have the Green Party that is basically Bernie's platform. It is Bernie's platform, more so than the Democratic Party. So I don't understand why he doesn't join the Green Party. But that's Bernie Sanders for you. Hidden for time, hardest working man, journalism, HA. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. The reality, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you truly wanted to, utilize leverage against the Democratic Party, fight the 1%. If you truly wanted to make change, if you truly wanted to implement Medicare for all, if you were Bernie Sanders, you would join the Green Party and say, look, you're playing games, Democrats. You're not taking any of my policies seriously. You look at what we stand for. The Green Party, Green Party U.S., single payer. Green New Deal, everything he stands for. He doesn't join the Green Party because then he feels he won't get the press needed. He won't move the Democratic Party, but the Democratic Party doesn't move unless it's forced to because of leverage. If he brings hundreds of thousands of voters to the Green Party, millions of voters to the Green Party, then Democrats never win again until they cater to the demands of the Green Party and Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein and Ajamu Baraka and everyone at the Green Party. But he won't do that because he's part of the same system that he claims to be against. Do you think that they are afraid of Bernie Sanders? Do you think that they're afraid of Bernie Sanders? They're not afraid at all of Bernie. At all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. They're not afraid at all. They don't care about Bernie Sanders. The only thing they want from Bernie Sanders is complete obedience, which is what he's going to give. He's going to support Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is going to be the nominee. But if he really wanted single payer, he wouldn't run as a Democrat and then lose and then support Hillary Clinton. He would say, join me in the Green Party. To all my millions of fans and supporters. Not the 15% that's voting for Trump, but the 80% that would vote for Biden. Do you know that if you vote green, that Democrats will absolutely lose the election and therefore be forced to implement Medicare for all in a House of Representatives that is controlled by the Dems? Does anyone on the left ever ask why Democrats don't implement or pass a Medicare for all bill? Because they despise it. Yeah, anybody ever ask why Democrats don't pass a Green New Deal bill, legislation, not a resolution? Because they have no intention of doing so. None of these things. You look at even AOC is abandoning ship. Even AOC is abandoning ship. That's it. AOC breaks with Bernie Sanders. Let's see. AOC breaks with Bernie on how to lead the left. Look at that, 23 hours ago. Isn't that interesting? From the wonderful group that got you AOC comes Politico. AOC breaks with Bernie on how to lead the left. Please, God, give the left to AOC and to the wonderful and amazing organizations that are aligned with she's absolutely fantastic. God, Lord, God, if you're listening, please, I don't ask much. Only Hillary Clinton is nominee, which she will be. Even you can't stop that, Lord. But after that, before that, please have AOC and Bernie on the same day endorse Hillary Clinton, which would be one of the best days ever. My God. But Lord, please have AOC and the pundits that Bernie Sanders can't endorse control the Democratic Party, or control the left. That would be the best. That would be the best. That would be the absolute best. There would be nothing better than that. Nothing. Donald Trump Jr. would win in 2024 if that happened completely. Soon after her upset primary against Democratic boss in 2018, AOC traveled to St. Louis to prove her victory wasn't a one-off by campaigning for Cori Bush, who was similarly taking a long time. Okay, bye. Bush lost that race, but challenging Rep but it will be challenging Lacy Clay in the August primary. Okay. After her victory in 2018, AOC encouraged progressives to follow in her footsteps and run for Congress. So where does it talk about they're breaking? AOC and Bernie are parting ways. This is a sight to behold. This is really a sight to behold. Oh my God. Wow. Who would have ever thought? Okay, where is this? Where does this? Okay, let me get this. This is a Politico article several hours back. So, I'm trying to find this here. Some left-wing activists believe criticism of AOC may be misplaced. More about people wanting her to do something, to be something she's not. What? If you're not standing, like, I don't really care. Bernie Sanders is a tool of the Democratic Party. But if you're not standing with Bernie Sanders, now you can't even stand with him. Oh my God. It's Elizabeth Warren too. Even worse. Elizabeth Warren. I heard you said this. You said that. Oh, Warren, are you making things up again? You said that you said a woman couldn't win. Thanks a lot for your support, Warren. So wait. If Bernie is Moses, then AOC is Joshua? Bernie ain't Moses. Oh my God. Yes. Do you understand? I want AOC to lead and to be the most important voice on the left. I want her to surpass Bernie Sanders. Only then will the prophecy be complete. So it's not really like, okay, where does it, where it's talking about, they have changed. Some associates of AOC thought, okay, hold on. Okay. So there's this organization that I'm not going to even get into. Said AOC remains the most anti-establishment Democrat in Congress. Oh, so establishment. Wait till everyone endorses Hillary. It will be the best day of all time. And you wonder why 15% of Bernie voters are going to vote for President Trump. Thank God. Thank God. Oh, my God. The victory, the catharsis, the euphoria, the monumental collapse of the most narcissistic, megalomaniacal political party and their rabid, frothing at the mouth group of imbeciles who think that they're morally superior to everybody. I'm talking, of course, about the average Democrat. When they lose to President Trump again, it'll be, I'm just going to look, I'm nowhere near the left, thank God. Trump supporter for a couple years now. I will just look and say, thank the good Lord, I left that dysfunctional, gigantic movement, or basically bowel movement. Thank God. So now the same organization, run by the same people that Bernie Sanders couldn't even endorse because of things they wrote or one person wrote a long time ago, but Bernie Sanders wrote something a long time ago. The whole thing is like Meshuggah. Absolutely Meshuggah. Now AOC is breaking away from Bernie Sanders. Who knows what's going on? Who cares? So it's just interesting. It's interesting to watch. And then they'll be like, well, you know, and I know exactly what's going to happen because I used to think this way also. They're going to say, you didn't let. Okay, in 2016, Bernie Sanders could have won. He had a different campaign. He had crossover appeal. There's a lot of reasons Bernie could have won. A lot of reasons Bernie Sanders could have won. Okay? a lot of reasons. But so she hasn't endorsed. She's only endorsed 2 of a whole bunch of progressive challengers that she was supposed to endorse. I don't care what's going. I don't care anymore anyway. It doesn't matter. Come on, you know the deal. You're gonna vote for me anyway, and then I'm gonna give it to Clinton. Come on, you know the deal. Oh my God! One of Hillary Clinton's top officials called AOC shift a sign of leadership. Yeah, love it. Yes. Oh my God, the plan is working. The prophecy is almost complete. The prophecy is almost complete, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. We're seeing it. It's slowly happening. Biden is like, we gotta have cure bad, cure good, cure making it worse. Come on now, people, now smell on your brother. Come on. I remember how dysfunctional it was. And now it's like even more dysfunctional. I like Tulsi Gabbard, but I don't understand why she would support Biden. I guess I understand it because she's a Democrat. But guess what AOC is going to do? When AOC and Bernie Sanders support the same person who Max Boot and Bill Kristol support, then that will be the Democratic Party. That'll be the left. Max Boot and Bill Kristol are 2 of the... They wrote the philosophical basis, or they helped write, or along with a number of other people. The philosophical basis, or the foreign policy basis, or the international relations justification to stay in countries forever. This is the antithesis of President Trump's foreign policy. He is ending perpetual quagmires, never-ending conflicts. He's ending those things. That is exactly what you need. President Trump is ending those things. Hidden for time, thank you again. No streak. Yan San Long, hello. When Hillary Clinton joins, that alone won't be one of my great predictions, which will be one of the great predictions of all time. The biggest political prediction of all time. It'll be, definitely the best prediction I've ever made, in addition to Clinton losing, which NPR quoted me in 2015. It'll be the second straight election that I accurately predict. But to see Bernie Sanders and AOC support Hillary Clinton again, or I guess in Bernie's case it'll be twice, that'll prove everything I've ever said. And you can then funnel all the negativity and the snarkiness and the vitriol and the venom and the hurtful comments from 4 years of people on the left just spending every waking moment on Twitter and Facebook trying to actually go after other people on the left. The way they work is they focus their energy on policing the left. Then they think that they're doing like this moral crusade. So they've jettisoned any belief in God, but they truly believe it's like this almost like religious. They do it with religious fervor. So whereas they claim they're like, proud atheist on their profile, it's like this religious crusade they have where they just roam around and look at anybody on the left that doesn't fall in line with their viewpoint. And if you don't fall in line with their viewpoint, it's a big problem. Then you get other people in your timeline. That's why, thank God I'm no longer on Twitter. I still have friends. I still have friends on the left. But I don't think that there's going to be a progressive movement after Clinton loses again and Bernie endorses Clinton again. I don't think that there will be a movement, but I don't think it's going to really be defined by anything. This election is like the last election that you'll hear Medicare for All being touted. Now they're moving from Medicare for All to UBI. If you look at the usual suspects pertaining to the pundits that Bernie can't endorse, now they're going from one policy that's not feasible to another policy that's not feasible, or another policy. Let's assume both are feasible. That two policies that Democrats will never in a million years pass ever. So what the Democratic Party does is they just say, okay, keep talking about it, get people riled up, and at the end of the day say, look, we might not be doing that right now, but at least we're better than Trump. Vote for us. And that's it. This is why I say, if you join, Bernie should have joined the Green Party. Green Party announces plan for fully costed universal basic income for everyone. Okay. Why doesn't he do that? This is what all the progressives are talking about. Oh, that's the Green Party UK. Green Party US. We support a universal basic income for stay-at-home parents and caretakers. Okay. It isn't a left or it's a way forward. Okay, there you go. It's like Bernie doesn't if he really wanted to fight the 1%, he certainly wouldn't have promoted the Trump-Russia myth, and he certainly would have joined the Green Party. That's what he should have done. Jill Stein was like, here, I'll leave. You can become president or, run for president. And now you have, let's see, some more AOC, Bernie Sanders. New York AOC reportedly distancing herself from Bernie Sanders. Oh, I love this. Esquire. AOC isn't breaking with Bernie. She's evolving beyond him. Yes, it's happening. Oh, that's great. As progressive politics must. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Yes. Well, Bernie's movement has taken a turn taken a wonderful turn. Notice how all the Democrats are so frightened. They're basically in the end zone dancing. The score is now 68-0. Establishment Democrats, progressives. And still on Twitter, it's like the score might as well be completely reversed. The progressive movement is the only movement where they think they're winning all the time. And when they get stomped on and trampled, they say, oh, don't become H.A. Goodman. It's like, no, you got not only played, you got completely steamrolled. And you'll do it again. You'll vote again for Clinton. Which will be, oh my God, vindication beyond belief. Let's look at the New York Post. AOC reportedly distancing herself from Bernie Sanders. That's good. Thanks a lot. First Warren, now you. Great. That's what friends are for. For good times and bad times. Apparently nobody will be on my side ever to help me. That's what friends are for. With friends like you, who needs enemies? My God. I bust my kumquats to build this movement. And everyone copping off my shine, what I created. All these people got into politics because of Bernie Sanders, and the second their The second that they get enough of the limelight, they're like, later. Elizabeth Warren, I give it to her. She kind of started before Bernie, or she didn't start before Bernie. What I should say is that she was in the mainstream. She was in mainstream media before Bernie Sanders, talking about a lot of the things Bernie Sanders eventually championed. But then he took it to a completely other level. And then Elizabeth Warren said, "You said a woman couldn't win." AOC did not campaign for the Vermont Independent again until just a few days before the New Hampshire primary. Oh, thanks for your help. Don't mind us. We're just getting cheated. The same organization that Bernie Sanders started by people Bernie can endorse are now oh my God, this is going to be so amazing. When Hillary Clinton runs, to see Bernie and AOC, Julio, you! Progressive equals progressing towards socialism. Yeah, I don't even think that word will not exist after Clinton loses again to Trump. And after Bernie supports Clinton again. Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee. They're not going to go with Biden. Biden is actually, let's put it this way, Michael Bloomberg and Bill de Blasio had more realistic campaigns than Biden. So, the 30-year-old progressive is building new coalitions with fellow House Democrats, trying to work more within the complex congressional system and picking fights with her party far less. Okay. They know exactly. The Democratic Party is like an amoeba that just like gobbles up anyone outside its sphere or whatever. It's the biggest racket. They used the word grifter. They tried to say that I was. It was like, what? That's the least likely term for me, because it's not like I pandered. I never pandered to anyone on the left. They didn't even like me. I always talked about the same things, and President Trump is doing them. So it's like, I don't need to pander. I have a president doing exactly what Bernie Sanders wanted to do in 2016. Bring home Americans. Everything from the Trans-Pacific, opposing the Trans-Pacific Partnership, addressing the trade imbalance with China, mainly foreign policy. And you want to talk about fighting the 1%? Who's going after corrupt intelligence officials? Not Bernie. Not Bernie. And I've also become more conservative on certain issues, especially the Second Amendment. So, which Bernie Sanders is, whatever. I don't want to get into that. So of course, then they say, oh, the online, so basically AOC won by the same people who championed Bernie's movement, withheld from the same people who championed Bernie's movement, and now is moving away from Bernie Sanders. So not only is the Democratic Party stomping on him, the people around him are stomping on him. Why doesn't, if I'm Bernie, tomorrow I join the Green Party and say, I have some choice words for everyone. And just like I did when I left Twitter, just go on a rant. And you, Warren, okay? With friends like you, who needs enemies? And you, AOC, and you, Pelosi, the Pelosi with the most. And you, Schumer, annoying. And you, and just go and just join the Green Party. and Democrats would they would instantly say, here, we have a Bernie dossier. He's working with Russia. Oh, my God. We'll never win again. We'll never win another election again. Oh, my God. And then if I was Bernie, I'd be like, if you want to win again, I want you to pass the Medicare for All bill before November, and I'll tell the Green Party to vote for you. Okay, fine. We'll do it. Oh, my God. Just draft something. The Republicans are going to block it anyway. Just do something. And then that's it. That's how you utilize leverage against the most insidious, the most corrupt, the most duplicitous political machine. Oh my God, you can't get more hypocritical. You can't get more narcissistic. They have all the markings and the hallmarks of like televangelists. Without the charm. $20 million in venture capital funding, my God. Juan Son Long, hello. Karen Hart, thank you for watching. Thank you, Karen. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say thank you so very much. This was a labor of love. This segment was a labor of love. 15% of Bernie voters are voting for President Trump. If you're a Bernie Sanders supporter and you care at all about foreign policy, vote for President Trump. Unless okay, I don't even want to get into the new foreign policy of the Democratic Party, but focusing on one country and ignoring every other, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. Give me your thoughts below. Definitely check out A.J. Goodman's other channel. I have a segment on this, an upload, that you will love. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. To my super chat, thank you. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you, everybody.